Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode in this series of me relearning StarCraft. In this episode, we'll be playing Zerg, my main race. However, it has been about 5 years since I've actually sat down and tried to really improve at StarCraft. So I don't know the meta, my mechanics might be terrible, but I do have some replays here we're going to be going in. Please give me all the backseat gaming. If you see something that I should do, post in the comments down below. Without further ado, we're gonna hop right into our very first replay. All right, hopping into our very first game, we have a ZVT. Now, this is a matchup that I love playing. I'm just not good at it. I swear, it seems like a matchup that is so straightforward for a lot of people, but I just can't really get it, especially because I used to play Mutiling Bane back in the day, but that's not really a playstyle you can do much anymore. Now, when I first came back to the ladder, I was getting absolutely nothing but cheesed. It was like 13 games in a row with like Bunker Rush or Proxy Mirage, something silly. So in a lot of matchups, I've actually just experimented with opening 13 pool, getting my 6 lings, and then going straight back into a macro style with an extra expansion. Now, one thing it does help me with is you can catch a lot of people off guard, whether it's Protoss not having anything at their wall and you can kill the thing. He's wasting a lot of mining time and repairs here. And also, if they're building a low ground command center, sometimes you can snipe it. It doesn't get, a lot of the times it might not get a lot done, but it does protect you versus early cheeses. Like I've literally won games where people have gone like proxy 2-gate as Protoss sent in zealots. And I already have queens and lings out, so I'm able to reflect it really easily. However, this game I go straight for the 3 bases, so here I'm able to deny the command center for quite a while. I got my wall off here, just in case Hellions want to run by. I got my 3rd base, and here I'm just going to aggressively drone up. I'm still poking in. I see the Hellions, so I am going to be going for the Roach Hydra comp. This is a comp that I've played a lot. I do get caught a little off guard there. He does send the guys across, but thankfully I'm not too worried. I am building multiple queens, so I'm able to get any anti-air. I'm able to get my creep spread going. Usually I like having my a main one for each hatchery, and then I like getting 2 or 3, and then those spread the creep spread. Especially versus both Cyclones and Hellions, I just don't want to try chasing those off creep. So here, I'm just focusing on, I get a couple safety roaches, and then I just aggressively drone up. But this is a big army. Thankfully, I got even more roaches coming. They do have speed. I don't think I lose this hatchery. There's a slight chance. No, I am able to get it. My roaches drive everything away, and I'm feeling good here. I didn't lose anything major. I think I just lost a queen and a couple other overlords units. Not too bad. Nothing that's going to hinder my economy at all. Now I'm sitting on a lot of minerals here, mainly because I wanted to expand, but with all the Hellions and Cyclones here, I'm not really able to. I could have also gotten this, but right now I'm just focused on staying alive. I do have this issue where I just get way more scared in ZVT than I should. Like, I always just assume that Buddy's about to walk across the map with a 200 army, even though it's like 5 minutes in the game. I always have that bit of fear, so I feel like I need to play just a little more greedy in ZVT. Now, I am building up a decent amount of roaches here. I do want to clear all these up because I've had games where, like, they'll push across the map and they'll keep, like, 2 siege tanks here, and it's like I can't get to them. So I just like opening up the map as much as possible. Now, here we do see I'm a little bit ahead in workers. He did build a planetary fortress, so he was determined on keeping this 3rd base alive. But I walk in with some roaches, notice that that's not going to work out, so I back off. He takes this opportunity to push across. Now, I actually like when the enemy builds Cyclones because they never really seem to do a whole lot of damage. It seems like a lot of people around the diamond level that I'm playing at don't actually know how to use Cyclones that well. So I am able to get a lot of advantages off that. Usually if I catch them, they die pretty easily. That's why I like getting the roach speed super fast. And I am able to catch a lot of his units here. Although siege tanks, those will push me back every day of the week. We do see a little bit of a supply lead, but nothing a whole lot. I did take my 4th base behind this, and I believe I take a 5th one right away here as well. Just because I see he is on 3 bases, and normally the standard as Zerg is you want to be 1 base ahead. Now, the bane of my existence are sensor towers. I hate sensor towers. I always get paranoid. I'm like, oh, I can't attack them now. He'll see me coming. But you do see, I love trying to make mutas work. They might not be the best unit right now, but they are my favorite Zerg unit, so I always want to make them work. And they do have this added benefit of a lot of players don't use Mutalisk, so when you do use it, people just aren't used to it. They're not prepared for it. We do see here, he has kind of nothing set up now. He does have Cyclones, and I know these mutas, I'm not really looking at them being long, like, these aren't gonna live, and that's kind of the mentality I'm going in. I'm like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna kill as much stuff as possible, because right now the only anti-air he really has is Cyclones, and I can get away from those. I can bounce from expansion to expansion. You see, I'm actually doing a decent amount of damage here. Behind this, I'm getting as many Overlords as I can, so I can get to 200, 200. I'm getting some upgrades going, but I feel like I didn't tech switch nearly fast enough in this game. And yeah, he has a lot of stuff. We are killing a lot of workers. Right now, we're at 35 workers killed, 36. The worker count, I have double what he has now. I got to my comfort point, which is 80 drones, which is kind of what you want to go for. And now I'm like, I'm thinking maybe I can kill off this base. I do get a couple supply depots, but eventually he brings in just too many Cyclones. I have to back off. Or maybe I just suicide all these in, maybe. Now, I do have a big force here. I was able to kill a lot of his economy. At this point, I know he's going to be focusing on rebuilding all that. He might not have the money to do much else. And this damn Widow Mine. So I do get a couple more Hydras here. I go in, I nuke as much of these as I can. I know that he's going to be focusing on this front army. This is a bit of a massacre, but also he does lose all this, and I am able to get more drones. So before this attack, I had 37 workers killed, and now we're at 49, getting a couple more. And I know I can magic box this guy, but I don't know. I didn't realize that the turret was there, I guess. But we're going to try to get this Thor. Doesn't go down. And we're ripping another 22 Mutalisks, so apparently in the moment, I'm thinking that Mutalisk is the play, even though they have killed a lot of workers, but he is building an army that just isn't going to die to Mutalisks. At this point, I should have been going for either Swarm Hosts or getting the Hive and then going up to Broodlords. I feel like Broodlords would have absolutely just straight up won me this game, since he's building a lot of Cyclones, Thors, Liberators, stuff like that. A lot of stuff that isn't going to really deal with Broodlords. But you know what, for as bad as maybe of a decision it was getting all these Mutalisks, it is getting a lot of work done in terms of killing workers. So we're already at, what, 62 workers killed. So I am actually getting a lot done with these. I just feel like it would have been better spending this time, although my bank is terrible. I literally could have been getting Hive right now. This is the disadvantage if you're not good at multitasking of playing something like Muta, is because right now, realistically, I could be getting like 50 different things right now, but I'm spending all my attention and time looking at this. This one I know I can magic box, get these, and we're looking at the workers killed. We're at 68 right now, so I have him down to 48 workers, and I'm doing pretty well. I got a big bank, but I feel like this game, I just stayed. It wasn't even that I stayed on a unit composition for too long, because my unit lost. I'm actually doing pretty well. The fact that it's even after that many losses for both sides is actually really good for me. But my issue is I stayed on Roach Hydra for just too long. I should have, and it almost works too. Like I actually get some decent trades here where I'm able to kill off a lot of stuff. But it's just going for Broodlords would have just been way better here. Getting Broodlords, Vipers, stuff like that. But instead I just kind of hoped that another 27 Mutalisks. So I'm spending my gas. Compared to the Terran series, be sure to check that out. I'm actually spending my gas, but is it on the right units? Probably not. I am up to 71 SCV kills, so I got that going for me. That poor queen. But looking back at the production tab, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to brute force my way to a win here, which could have worked in the early game. But now that we're so much later in the game, there's really not an opportunity for me to kill him with this comp. I do always go out of my way to kill bases and sensor towers. Those are my two favorite things to kill. Now, this is a lot of Thors, and to be fair, if I got those out of range just a little bit, I probably could have killed an extra Thor there, but having that missile turret just beat on my stuff wasn't ideal. So looking at the units lost tab, I'm starting to pull behind just a decent amount. I do have a lot of... Thankfully, with all my bases, I do have the money it takes to remax, but once again, this is just one where I always get slightly decent fights, and then I just don't... I always think I'm so close to winning, so I'm like, you know what? What's another full round of Roach Hydra? And even here, like, I took this fight, but I easily could have just killed this expansion. And I feel like if I did kill that expansion, I could have won this game. mainly because he has absolutely no money. This is almost mined out. His main is mined out. His natural's mined out. This is mined out. So that would have left him on pretty much no mining bases, because he has 4 bases here that are pretty much almost all dead, and then this base. So I feel like if I did kill that base, I would have been fine. Now I come in here, I do deny another expansion, so I still have the money. I am able to go up to Broodlords, but I'm still trying to force out as many roaches as possible. I am taking all these. I got this base, so I am doing a decent job, I feel, of actually expanding. I even originally had one here. So I'm doing a good job of expanding, getting money. I just feel like my main mistake here was just not tech switching fast enough. Like, I just sat on this comp for way too long. I don't think I ever hopped off it. I think we're going to see the final fight here where I notice, oh, he took another fresh base. And I don't know, I just didn't notice this one. I feel like if I just committed and killed that. I do get another base, and I still don't go for this one. I'm up to 95 SCV kills, and I'm still behind. It made me so sad. And of course, I can't even blame balance. This is around like 5 minutes ago. I noticed that, oh no, I spent way too much time. So I'm getting some Ravagers. I'm finally getting Infestation Pate. So I'm getting another expansion. But this was just simply a game of I sat on one comp for too long. Like, if I get Broodlords here and I get some decent range, this is an army that I can absolutely kill. So I go in, I get absolutely decimated, and at this point I realize I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty dead. I don't have any gas. I do get 17 more roaches, but that's not enough to deal with all of this. I'm still sitting on my 63 drones, but yeah, that's just going to be it for me. Just because I know people like it, here's the APM 209, effective APM 156. So, I mean, a lot of that is just me holding down the R key, but lots to work on this game. I feel like my early game was really good holding off the attacks. I just feel like I didn't tech switch. And if I did tech switch, I'm pretty sure I just win this game, because I actually did a really good job of killing SCVs, denying expansions. Like, he was poor for a lot of this game. It's just me not doing tech switch really hurt. But that is it with the ZVT. We are moving on to replay number 2. All right, hopping into game number 2, ZVZ for this one. Now, I haven't actually learned how to properly macro in ZVZ, so I do have a build that I do. It's very all-in, but you know what? If I'm playing on a day and I play 10 ZVZs, I'll win 9 of them. It's a very effective cheese. I've beaten Master League players with it. Once I hit a GM, the few times I hit a GM player, though, they shut it down. So this is a build that can get you to low masters in ZVZ. So basically, I go 13 pool, and I do drone up a decent amount. I get up to 14 drones, and then I basically just go Ling Bane all in. But since it's a bit later of a pool, and I build a bunch of drones, it's not just a one-punch attack. You can be flooding in Lings for a long time, and you get your queens, you get a bunch of Banelings, and they can't really do much about it. And one thing I've noticed coming back is very, very, very few people actually all in ZVZ anymore. Pretty much every single person goes for Hatch first. So this is a very effective build. I will say, Hatch first is the riskier one to play against, because they will have a lot more larvae and they can start 2 queens at a time. Now, the main counter to this I found is people building a spine crawler right away and clogging this up with 2 queens. That basically shuts this down. So I go in, and basically I'm attacking until my Baneling nest is done. Once the Baneling nest is done, I back off, I build 5 Banelings, and then I run in. So he's actually doing a decent thing here building the spine crawler, but it's just a bit too late. You usually want to have that ready and just bring that down right away. So once this dies, it's basically 1 base versus 1 base, except this base won't die. It's basically 1 base versus 1 base, but you have the tech. So this is kind of what you're looking for. This is the perfect one. Those will die, and I instantly get the Banelings going. Side note, while we wait for these Banelings to spawn, if you do like the content, be sure to subscribe. I will be putting out consistent content, not just on StarCraft, but RTS in general. I'll be playing a lot of Stormgate, Battle Aces, StarCraft, obviously. And I'll be doing other content aside from gameplay as well, because I have been watching all of StarCraft 2 since the very beginning. So there are a few videos I want to make. So going in here, basically, I put the Banelings on a separate control group. I run up with the Banelings. He tried blocking with Zerglings. That didn't work too well, and a lot of people will just leave right at that point. I go in, of course, you gotta blow up your Banelings, but this is my go-to all-in with ZVZ. I do want to learn more macro styles. It's just this one is so effective that I just have to let it rip. Especially, I think I had a losing streak, so I just wanted to win, so I just decided to all in. But that's ZVZ. Let's move on to ZVP. All right, so I will warn you guys. I did play against this guy in the previous, about 2 games prior to this, and he all-in me and cheesed me and then just laughed about it. So there's going to be some chat messages of him gloating here. So I was very determined. Yeah, he says, crush you again. So I was determined. I was not losing this game. No force on earth could have me lose. So you always got to hit him with the question mark. That's the best thing to do. If people are just trolling you or doing any of that, you hit them with the question mark always. So versus Protoss, always, I go 13 pool. There's too much stuff. If I try going hatch first, they just block it, and then you end up just waiting for pool anyway. So I found just going for yeah, actually that's that die. I found just going for 13 pool, it just works better. You can send your stuff across the map. You maybe catch something. Like if they went greedy and they didn't wall off properly, you can get their pylon. So basically, if they build a nexus before any of this, you can auto win the game off that. And I've also had games where they do like proxy gateway. They try going in, and I have 6 Zerglings and a queen already. So it's just a very safe build. It delays you a little bit on economy, but I just found I started winning a lot more going 13 pool. On the really big maps, I will go pool for hatch first, but sometimes when they decide to just drop pylons at like 3 different spots, it can be really frustrating. So I just settled on the 13 pool. I do get gas right away because I do want to go for roaches and speed and all that kind of stuff. I think for this build, I had a strategy that I used back in Wings of Liberty and even in Heart of the Swarm, where you go 2 base and you go right up. You get a lot of gas. You go right up to Mutalisks, because a lot of Protoss, they don't plan for Mutalisks. They can't deal with it. So basically the way he cheesed me last game was he snuck a pylon in, and they started just warping in zealots. He got like 2 warp prisms, started dropping zealots everywhere, and it was pretty tilting. So that's why you see me go for spine crawlers in each one, because this guy just flooded with zealots, just charged lots with +1. That's all he did. So I wanted to make sure I planned for that. Where I got static defense, I got a bunch of lings so I can spot for stuff, and I'm going straight up to Mutalisk, because any Zerg or Protoss player will know if a Protoss player is not expecting Mutalisks, you can just straight up win the game on that. Mutalisks don't have that much of a use in the current StarCraft landscape, as over the years they've kind of just fallen out of favor. Mainly, especially versus Terran. Terran's pretty much every new unit they've ever gotten deals with Mutalisk better. So a lot of Terrans will just blind counter Mutalisks. ZVZ, I know I've been watching a lot of pro play recently, and pretty much nobody uses Mutalisks in ZVZ anymore. And then for Protoss, they can work. Although we did see the game versus Terran, I actually got a lot done with Mutalisks. I just didn't tech swap properly. Now this one I don't know what I was thinking there. I was like, I'll poke. But you see, I have 12 Mutalisks on the way, and you can see he has zealots there. He's bringing his warp prism up. But I do have spine crawlers. I do have my queen. I am able to hold this one off. Now, he thinks he's going to get this one, but I do have 3 spine crawlers there. And this is what you have to do when you're on 2 base. And you're basically just waiting for Mutalisks. So I have no units to actually defend myself. So you actually got to have properly placed spine crawlers, and that holds off everything here. Now, I don't know if he saw these Mutalisks. He did. So he's dropping pylons, and this is the thing. With Protoss players, he didn't have any pylons here, so he can't actually build static defense for his mineral line. So there's really not a whole lot that you can do as the Protoss player here. With 13 Mutalisks on, you can just target down everything. He didn't have a shield battery. Now, if he had a shield battery, he does have a lot of energy on Nexus, and he could have battery overcharged, and that just shuts down so much aggression. But at this point, I'm just like, yeah, he's still going in with zealots, but I still have spine crawlers. Like I said, I wasn't about to lose this game. I was very determined to stop this silly boy's shenanigans. Now, I'm curious. I don't remember if he GG's me, because he was just trash talking for a while. Now, before this game ends, if you do want to catch me live, I will have my Twitch down below. We will play a wide variety of RTS games. If you join and you say this video brought you there, then we will even play some team games. I love playing team games with viewers, so just stop by. We'll play some games together. that is going to be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed. There's a lot we need to improve on. Well, me in general. Be sure to comment down below anything you feel like I need to do better. Subscribe if you like the content, and I will see you in episode 2 next week.